Welcome back to Hashtag That. I'm Audrey Scafati.
And I'm Ben Kane. From Marvel's newest Christmas special to parades happening across the country, we're back with the latest Hollywood news updates.
All that and more from Hamden to Hollywood. Tonight, Ben and I are your sources for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
From Hamden to Hollywood,
we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Well, former Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger is now the new CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Sounds weird, right? Well, let me explain that to you. For 15 years, Iger led the Disney Company and helped bring them to new heights, being a vital piece in the acquisition of companies like Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. After over 50 years within the company, Iger stepped down in 2020, paving the way for Bob Chapek to become the company's new CEO. Guiding the company through the pandemic, Chapek recently signed a 3-year extension which would have kept him in the role until 2025. However, it was recently announced that Chapek would be stepping down and Iger back into the role on a 2-year deal on the basis of helping develop a successor for the role, per CNN.
Last week, the 8th season of Bachelor in Paradise came to an end. As per usual, the tears were flowing and the drama was high. One of the couples, Victoria and Johnny, who were engaged at the end of their time on the island, revealed that they are no longer together. In a shocking turn of events, Victoria revealed that she is dating a previous contestant on The Bachelorette, Greg. The pair ran off to Italy together to start their relationship, got matching tattoos, and have been together since this summer. On the show, Johnny was accusing Victoria of cheating while she continued to deny the rumors and accusations.
Well, goodbye Thanksgiving and hello Christmas. The 90th annual holiday Christmas parade happened yesterday, November 27th, and featured Danny Trejo as the Grand Marshal. The display of live bands and colorful floats ran on a 3.2-mile route starting at Hollywood Boulevard and finishing at Orange Drive. Couldn't make it to California for the parade? Well, the CW network has you covered, recording the whole event, and will be airing the parade throughout the holiday season for the world to see.
On Friday, the band Big Time Rush dropped a single titled Paralyzed. The hit song was originally performed by the band on their Nickelodeon TV show in 2011. The twist is it was never released for purchase on an album or on any streaming service. For 11 years now, fans have been begging for the track's official release, and now they finally have it. Big Time Rush reunited in 2020, and since then, they have had a very successful tour, released new tracks, and re-recorded some older ones. The band is definitely still living it up big time.
Now, Audrey, you talk about Hollywood music, but there's music everywhere, especially in Hamden. Haley Ruscio and Aaron Russell are here to key us in on a local pianist that is blessing the community with their melodic tunes.
Hi, hashtag. I'm Aaron Russell here at Quinnipiac's Black Box Theater. Dr. Vincent Craig, renowned pianist, conductor, and professor, is here for another performance at Quinnipiac. He was last here in 2014, and he has another performance for us tonight. In an interview with Haley Ruscio and myself, we got to ask him a bit about his repertoire, his career as a professional pianist and professor, and some advice he has for college students pursuing the same musical goals as he once did.
How did you become a pianist?
When I was a kid, my parents listened to classical music all the time, and so that was something that was always a part of my being and a part of my upbringing, and that was some of the first music I ever heard. And my father had played the piano as a child and just continued to nurture and instill that love of music.
Much of your focus centers around Black composers. Why is that so important to you to highlight in your career?
Any music you perform, whether it's Bach, Chopin, Schumann, William Grant Still, you have to believe in it. I found that there was a wealth of wonderful, wonderful music that was not only underrepresented, but underappreciated, underperformed. When I went to conservatory, I went to Oberlin and studied with Frances Walker, who was the first African-American woman ever to be tenured at the Oberlin Conservatory. She really kind of opened my eyes to a lot of this repertoire, and I thought, this is really incredible music, and it's not being performed. And so this is actually the first time in my career that I've done an entire program of music of Black composers. So that's very exciting for me.
What advice would you have for college students who are looking to pursue similar goals that you did when you were their age?
The top two things I would say, you have to have discipline and you have to have commitment. Obviously, you have to have some talent too, but the talent will only take you but so far. You have to be very, very committed. Everything you do has to have a purpose. Every time you perform a piece of music, there has to be something internal that you want to express. I've spent my whole life trying to be more expressive when I play the piano. It's just not good enough to just play the notes. You have to think about the character. I have always listened to lots of singers and listen to the way they phrase, and that's really my model for the way I play the piano, is the human voice.
I had so much fun listening and speaking with Dr. Craig. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
While I'm usually the one to deliver your Marvel content, Michael Rada is here this week to talk about the new Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special on Disney+. Let's check it out.
Hey hashtag, it's Michael and I'm here to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. This is the second special Marvel has produced, the first being Werewolf by Night in October. This was written and directed by James Gunn and was filmed during the production of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. To set up this story, it's when Drax and Mantis go to Earth to get a present for a sad Star-Lord. And that present is the legendary Kevin Bacon. And I loved this special. It has the same James Gunn humor and heart that projects like Peacemaker and the first two Guardians movies had. Without spoiling anything, it has two great musical numbers and it plays around a lot with the humor of Kevin Bacon just being an actor and not an actual hero from Earth. Now with Wakanda Forever being the end of Phase 4, this is kind of the unofficial start of Phase 5. And the thing that I loved about this special is that it really expanded on the lore and mythology of the Guardians. We learned a lot more about the characters, and the things I learned about the characters made me like and appreciate them more. James Gunn has a real talent of putting comedy and drama into his projects. This special is a great example of that, as when he shows us more Peter Quill's backstory and what Christmas meant to him and how he kind of resents it now. He also has a great talent of bringing wacky characters into fish-out-of-the-water scenarios, like he just did with Drax and Mantis. Putting them into Hollywood and bringing them into bars, he really played with the comedy great. I love what Disney Plus is doing with these hour-long specials. I really hope they do more. I thought they knocked the first two out of the park. I know there's a rumored Nova one they're gonna do. Can't wait for that. I hope they do another Guardians one or a Deadpool one. I think this is a great idea, not forcefully making a TV show or a movie. This is a great middle ground, and I hope they experiment with this more. Overall, this special was great and charming, and something that I never knew that I wanted. The Drax and Gamora buddy cop movie, this felt like. The chemistry between them is great. Kevin Bacon is great in it. The whole cast seemed like they're having a great time. I will say the only nitpick would be I'm not a big fan of the design of Groot, but I'm sure that'll be fixed in Volume 3 as he evolves more with each movie. But besides that, the special was amazing. Now, back to you guys at the desk.
Now there has been so much happening all over the globe in the realm of entertainment. Here to catch us up is the one and only Fiona Stevens. Fiona, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, this week there's a lot to go over, so let's get started. This past Friday, Chinese-Canadian pop star Chris Wu was sentenced to prison time in Beijing on charges of rape and sexual assault. These charges were from separate incidences in 2018 and 2020 for a combined jail time of 13 years. Wu was also fined for $83.7 million for tax evasion. The former member of the South Korean group EXO, which he left in 2014 for solo opportunities, denied initial accusations from over 10 women in the past year. The 32-year-old has been in custody since August 2021 and will be deported immediately to Canada after serving time. Lior Raz and Avi Issacharoff, creators and executive producers of the award-winning Israeli show Fauda, confirmed that they were planning on collaborating with international creators at the 53rd International Film Festival of India yesterday in Goa. This announcement comes in addition to the production launch of Tenav, an Indian adaptation of Fauda's story of the Israel-Palestine conflict. The creators were excited to share the possibilities with Issacharoff, saying, quote, "Our company is now looking more and more for international content, not Israeli, not necessarily American, but international content," unquote. According to Raz, Faraway Road Productions has multiple projects underway at Netflix, including a film and a TV series. Fauda is available for streaming on Netflix, with season 4 dropping in January 2023. NBC Universal International Networks is officially set to launch DreamWorks, a 24-hour channel dedicated to kids and family content in France. This French debut is the first channel launch for DreamWorks and is in partnership with SFR, a French telecommunications company that will also allow subscribers to tap into the stream. DreamWorks is now available in over 40 countries across the globe, starring characters from the big screen in their own award-winning shows. Such characters include beloved King Julian from the Madagascar franchise, headlining an All Hail King Julian. In over 35 million households now, the programming has been dubbed in local languages and will provide entertainment for families across the globe. That's all I have for this week's hashtag What in the World. Back to you guys at the desk.
Now, Fiona, thanks for sending it back to the desk, but we're actually going to take a quick trip down to 77th Street with Lane Dubin, who has more on the iconic Macy's Day Parade.
Hey, hashtag, it's Lane. The 96th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in Midtown Manhattan just happened last week. People have been watching it on TV, and it has become a special family tradition in households just like my own and millions of others across the nation. Today, I'm going to be breaking down some of the most memorable moments from the parade. Let's get started. The opening of the parade was a very memorable start with Broadway's Funny Girl starring Lea Michele, the Glee star, who is currently starring on Broadway as Fanny Bryce. This was arguably an amazing way to start off the parade, depending on who you ask on Twitter, and Lea Michele had a great rendition of Rain on My Parade. And no matter what your opinion on Lea Michele is, her voice is undeniably amazing. Next up, we have the Radio City Rockettes performing New York at Christmas. This is the Rockettes' 66th appearance at the parade, as they are known to give iconic performances, being a precision dance company. They are known for their iconic kick lines, and these artistic athletes are known to do 160 high kicks per show. And a small detail that I really enjoyed was how simple their dresses were, but they still had a little sparkly edge to them, and this really allowed you to focus on how talented they are. And of course, we need to include Broadway's Lion King performance. The cast performed The Circle of Life. This Broadway classic was celebrating their 25th anniversary on Broadway. It is ranked as the most successful musical of all time. You are just glued to your screen the entire time. They just truly immersed you into their world and kind of took you out of the parade for a second. Next, we have Big Time Rush. They performed their songs Paralyzed and Boyfriend. It was just really nice to see the four of them back together at the Macy's Day Parade, because this is BTR's second appearance at the parade, following their first appearance in 2010. Next, we have the performance with the cast of Pitch Perfect, Bumper in Berlin. Now, this was a hidden gem for sure. Peacock's new original comedy show, starring Adam Devine, Sarah Hyland, and Flula Borg. The stars of the new comedy performed on a peacock float, singing a mashup of 99 Red Balloons in German and Take On Me. Flula kicked off the performance with a really funny line.
Oh yes, pump those balloons.
Jokes aside, they really went all out on this performance. They were extremely animated, and they just had great chemistry as a cast and just seemed to work really well. The performances this Macy's Day Parade were just so nice and joyful to watch, and I'm so excited to see what they have in store for us next year. That's all from me, and we'll see you after the commercial break.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfies. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
We're back with the latest Hollywood news updates, and here to spill all the latest news is Grace Doyle. What do you have for us, Grace?
What's up, guys? We have so much news straight out of Hollywood, so let's jump right into our first story. Disney's Strange World has been called a box office bomb, making only $18.6 million within its first 5 days. The film follows a release schedule similar to that of last year's Encanto, with a limited theatrical release prior to a release on Disney+. You may not have heard of this movie, which is not surprising. Many audiences are upset with the studio as there were barely any marketing campaigns employed. The film has Disney's first openly gay main character, a fact that some believe to have a correlation with its lack of promotion. However, Disney has been lacking in promotions as of late. With what we know about Disney and the studio's new chief executive, do you think that this problem will be fixed?
Now, Audrey, I think Grace is right. Apart from before reading her script a little bit before the show, I had never actually heard of the movie.
Me as
but
well.
I think the big problem here is that all these big time companies are seeing that you can release a movie during the holiday season, and because everyone's home, they can go to the theaters, they can go watch this movie. But I feel like it never works out for shows when they're trying to release a movie during that holiday season, because it always gets buried by all the traditional films. So I think with Bob Iger coming back into Disney, he's kind of seen the route. He's worked there for 50 years, so he'll kind of know a little bit more about release dates and stuff like that. But with such a big movie and such big topics that are being talked about in the movie, I feel like you got to release it at a different time to get more out of it, for people to get more out of it.
Yeah, I do agree with you, but I also just think that in general, Disney has not done a good job in promoting gay characters, and especially since this movie is putting Disney's first openly gay main character, it is not a good look on Disney to not have this movie be promoted so much more. So they should definitely fix that in the future with promotions, with movies like this. I'm not sure what they're going to do next. What do you think, Grace?
I agree. I'm completely surprised with the lack of promotions surrounding this movie. However, with Iger's return, I believe that in the upcoming months and weeks with its release on Disney+, that this movie will get its success. On Wednesday, November 23rd, Netflix released Wednesday, a series following the eldest Addams child. Jenna Ortega, who plays the titular role, revealed in an interview with MTV News that she studied videos of 80s club goths to prepare for the character. However, she did not contact Christina Ricci, who originated the role in the 90s cult classics, even though she plays Wednesday's dorm mother in the spinoff. As Ortega explains, "I didn't want to rip her off. They're two very different people, our Wednesdays." Have you, or do you plan on watching the new series? And what do you think of Ortega's decision to stray away from the Wednesday we all know and love?
Now, Ben, I love Wednesday Addams. I think she is such a fun character, and I am really excited to watch the show. I haven't watched it yet, but in regards to asking the previous Wednesday Addams, I think that it's kind of just a courtesy in this day and age of like remakes and redos that you should at least talk to the person who is in that prior role to you, not even if you're copying, drawing inspiration from. I don't know. I just think it would have been kind of nice to talk to the former Wednesday Addams.
I do think you need to talk to her, but I also feel like with all these remakes that are happening so often that it's kind of different where you want to take a new role and you want to be the prominent person who played that character, but you also want to give recognition of the past. So it's really confusing. I agree. I think Jenna Ortega, if she doesn't talk to her, then she's just trying to take the role and make it her own. But what do you think, Grace?
I agree with Ben on this one. Although I am a huge fan of the 90s source material, I respect Jenna Ortega's decision to divert from Christina Ricci's adaptation of the role and stray more towards one that draws inspiration from the original 1960s TV show. Speaking of Netflix, and in the spirit of Thanksgiving, the streaming service has revealed the release of a film documenting a wholesome viral sensation. In 2016, a screenshot uploaded by Jamal Hilton made headlines after he was accidentally invited to Wanda Dench's holiday dinner. Dench, who believed she was texting a grandchild, upheld the offer still, saying, "That's what grandmas do, feed everyone." The tradition continues every year, with many Twitter users following along with the unlikely pair. The movie is set to release next year. Have you guys heard of this story? How would you like to see this story told?
No, I've actually never heard of this story, but I feel like what would be really cool is if you do a little Twitter series, because obviously it came out on Twitter, so you'd make a little bit of like a mini documentary series, like a little mockumentary, and you kind of go that route. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I think something on a smaller scale would make a lot of sense. I don't see how they're going to make an entire film about this like little Twitter interaction. I know it's become something larger over the years. Maybe they can draw inspiration from this story and make it kind of like a larger thing. It doesn't have to be like, I don't know, I just don't really see how this will be an entire film. How do you think, Grace?
So I have been following along with this thread since it first went viral in 2016, but I never imagined that it would have a Netflix adaptation. However, I would like to see it almost as like a mini doc. I know Netflix specializes in that, and I would just like to see this story unfold. Well, that's all I have for this week's Hollywood News Update. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihavepreddiabetes.org.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spot me on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Well, thank you for opening up our show again and not leaving me and Audrey undelivered. Over the break, a few members of our show took to Snapchat to give us a quick holiday update. Let's send it over to them for more.
Hey, hashtag, it's Isabella. Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm spending mine down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a lot warmer than up there in Connecticut, and I'm super grateful to be here with my mom and sister. I'm just so thankful for all of my family and friends and everybody at Quinnipiac, especially Q30. I'm so thankful to be a part of this station, and I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving traditions with their family and friends. I got to enjoy the beaches and shopping and beautiful holiday lights down here in Florida, but I'm definitely excited to get back to Quinnipiac.
Hey, hashtag, it's Michael, and this year for Thanksgiving, I had it at my house with my mom, my dad, and my sister. We all made Thanksgiving dinner together, and I'd have to say my favorite food was the stuffing. Usually after dinner, we would watch a movie, and this year's was the new Christmas movie, Spirited. This year, the day after Thanksgiving, me and my friends all got together, and we had pizza and wings, and we all caught up, and it was really nice.
Thanksgiving this year was pretty fun. Normally it's a much bigger occasion, so you have like a lot of cousins over, but due to them getting married, having children, it was a much smaller thing, just the people that live with me in my house, but I feel like because of that it felt a lot more personal, like still very nice gathering. And usually most Thanksgiving it's just eat the food, eat the turkey, you're done. We did a lot of fun stuff. We watched the Portugal World Cup game that was going on, we played some bingo. It was really fun. The most different Thanksgiving we've ever really had, but still thankful for my family who was able to enjoy it.
Hey, hashtag, it's Alex. For my Thanksgiving break, my family traditionally goes to Sturbridge, Massachusetts to celebrate. We go to this really fancy restaurant called the Public House, which is a historic inn and country lodge. We usually meet up with my extended family, my Uncle Monkey and my Uncle Howie. This time we got seated in the main dining hall, which has a bunch of really fancy chandeliers, but there are also some tinier, really cute rooms for more private events. The meal's usually served in 4 courses, so that's appetizer, bread basket, main entree, and then your dessert. After dinner, we usually take photos outside the gazebo or in front of the bakery. I always have so much fun at the Public House, and I had a fantastic Thanksgiving break.
This week, we are playing a game of over or underrated music edition, where we're going to be discussing if today's stars are overrated or underrated. Shall we begin?
I'll let you start it off.
All right, so first one up is Harry Styles. Now, I have to preface, I am a big Harry Styles fan, and I'm going to say that he is appropriately rated, because I don't think that he's underrated, because clearly this man is everywhere.
But that wasn't an option.
But I don't think he's overrated.
I think you got to give an option, overrated, underrated.
Well, what's your answer?
I'd go overrated. I just feel like, I don't know, I'm not a big fan. I don't know, I feel like his music just doesn't fit my vibe. I'm just not a big fan. I think he's overrated. I feel like he's got like a cult following too, that like whatever he puts out, they're gonna love.
But if you liked him, like just if you enjoyed his music, then you would not think that he is overrated.
But I feel like that goes for all of them.
Maybe. All right, whatever. We'll discuss this after the show. Let's go to the next artist.
21 Savage.
I'll let you. No, you start this one.
I think he is very underrated. He had a really bad last album with Drake, but like apart from that, every feature this man is on is golden. Like I think he's very underrated because people don't know about him. He's not like a big like I'm gonna put out a solo album and you're gonna listen to it. Mm-hmm. Like he'll just pop up here and there, but all those beats are so good.
I'm not a big rap person per se, so he's not really my taste of music. I do like his music video for his song a lot. I've watched that a bunch. But I will say that, sure, I'll agree with you. I'll say that he is underrated just because I don't listen to him, but that doesn't mean that he's no good. I mean, I don't have jurisdiction there.
We got Big Time Rush coming up next week.
All right.
Take it away.
BTR. I mean, we've already talked about Big Time Rush a little bit in our show today, but some of the few music that Ben and I do have in common is Big Time Rush. And I believe that this band is severely underrated. They came to fame at the same time as One Direction, and One Direction really just overtook it. And the Big Time Rush hasn't been taken as seriously as other bands in the past.
I'm going to give a hot take here. I think they're overrated, but hear me out. I think when you go back the Nickelodeon days, underrated. Those guys never missed. They never made a single bad song. But like what the music we listen to now from Big Time Rush is all the old music, right? So I feel like I don't listen to much of their new music that's come out, and they're so hyped up.
That's interesting. I disagree with you, but let's move on.
Got last one, Dua Lipa. I think Dua Lipa is the most underrated artist of all time. She hasn't made a bad song. Fantastic.
I agree. I do think that she makes a lot of radio music. So I would say that I haven't listened to more of her music than that is on the radio. I would like to give her a deeper listen, but I do think that she is a little overrated, if I'm going to be honest with you.
I think One Kiss might be my favorite song of all time right now.
Sure.
I think it's like top of like the on repeat on Spotify. Well, we're going to move on to a new artist to watch. I recently had the privilege of seeing the very talented Benji in person. Having never seen or even heard of the artist before, I was absolutely blown away. Opening up for the recent Earth Gang World Tour, Benji has seen his Spotify monthly listeners jump to over 69,000 listeners. His music has a delightful R&B type vibe that you're definitely going to want to check out. Although he has one album called Smile, You're Alive, he has a fantastic mixture of songs on that album, from calm beats like the album's opener Rain to upbeat tunes like Shake and East Side Bounce. Mark my words, Benji is going to be a big-time artist, and you heard it right here on #that.
Now, you've probably heard his hit songs like Golden Hour, and This Is What Falling in Love Feels Like on TikTok. The artist Jake, spelled Jvke, should be an artist to watch. At only 21 years old, the singer has over 19 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Jake released a full album in September and is trending everywhere. I just listened to this album, and it is definitely worth a listen. Jake's music is the type that you could put on in the car that everyone would enjoy.
Well, #that's our show. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Q30Entertain and check out our website, Q30TV.com.
Thank you for watching #that. From the producers, talent, and everyone working hard behind the scenes, that's Ben Kane, and I'm Audrey Scafati. Have a marvelous Monday, Q30.